What's up, party people? It's John checking in again with your Friday update coming in at you, a couple days late on this one, but that's alright. We'll get caught up on the videos coming here soon. Just been real busy lately. Let's see, if I mentioned before, I shot a special video at work a few days ago. Yeah. And, So lately, it's like, how do I put this into words? I'm feeling really good with the place that I'm at in life right now. I know I'm moving forward. I know I'm going in the direction that I'd like to be going, but I still feel a little bit insecure or uncertain because in the past I've been around a lot of bad people, narcissistic people, manipulative people, people who've lied to me and have used me, right? And we all have. But the thing is, if you're a fundamentally disagreeable person and kind of a tough person, you can push them off and be like, well, they're assholes anyway. People are like that. The world's tough. Sometimes you run into people like that, right? But the problem is I'm kind of the opposite. I'm probably way too soft and a bit naive because I've been probably too nice to people. And generally, you're really nice to people, then most people are really nice back because there's no reason, to do otherwise. But if there's hurt people, most of the people who would do this are just hurt people. But if there are plenty of hurt people, they will, treat you poorly, misuse you, manipulate you, all those bad things that people do. Generally, they're people who are hurt, people who don't know any better. Sometimes there are people who are just evil. Sometimes there are people who are just evil and they want to inflict hurt for hurt's sake. And those are the most baffling times. But the thing is, for me, I was extremely naive and probably through my 20s because I think I caused a little brain damage with all the partying I did through college. But that being said, I was probably used and abused by, a lot of people for a period of time. And I didn't know any better. I should have known better sooner, but that's neither here nor there. That's the past, right? But because of that, because of putting myself in that situation repeatedly, it's hard to trust. That's the thing, right? It's hard to trust people who've been hurt before. It's hard to trust for people who were naive because they didn't know the difference. They didn't notice the difference. It's also hard to trust for people who are tough and less agreeable. But people who are tough and less agreeable are just kind of assholes. So they already have a wall. They don't really get close to people because they're hard to get close to, because they're rough. So maybe they have a better filter than naive people. Naive people don't have a filter. They let people in, and then the naive people put up a wall. The thing is, the naive person's wall is much thicker. They're much more cautious because the naive person didn't notice the difference between the bad people and the decent people. That's the problem if you think everybody's, oh, good, and they have your best interests. Okay, good, in a perfect world, that's nice, right? But there are assholes out there. There are people who aren't that good. There are people who don't have your best interests in mind, right? So, okay, what's my point here? I was on the naive side. I think a lot of people nowadays are on the naive side, which is, it's a good thing in that we have a very soft and forgiving society that allows a lot of us to be naive. It's a good thing that we're not tough like our parents or grandparents had to be, especially grandparents, maybe even generations before, right? We didn't have to go out and fight in wars and kill people. That's pretty cool. Downside being, there will always be shitty people. There will always be exploiters. There will always be narcissists. And you're easy pickings, you're prey. They can pick us out. They can smell us out easily because you just look for the person who has a little bit of a vacant look in their eyes, who looks a little lost, like a lost puppy, right? That sort of look. That was me. It's still me a little bit. I'm dialing that in. But you're a target. You're a mark. You're a con. I had a friend recently, very recently, who was a narcissist, and I just started listening. The thing is, you can just let these people, you can let anybody talk. And if you listen to somebody long enough, they'll tell you what kind of person they are, what they want from you, and what they want. Just keep listening. And if you listen, you just ask questions like, oh, okay, can you tell me more? Explain more about that. tell me about that thing you told me the other time, right? If they're telling lies, you can start to pick holes in, you can start to pick up holes in their story. And I don't think you should press them on this, because then, narcissists generally have a very fragile ego. Oh my goodness, I am tired and I'm slurring my words. Yeah. Narcissists generally have a fragile ego, there we go. And if you push them, they'll take that as an attack, and they might fight back. Just play dumb, just play naive, and stop associating with those people. Yeah. So, tough people already have a wall up, right? It's hard for people to get through that. Naive people have no wall, but the naive people will be exploited, and maybe they'll become bitter, and maybe they'll become jaded. Generally, those people are naive people, right? So if a naive person goes through this, right? First, you're naive, you're fresh to the world. Maybe everybody's born naive. Maybe the naive people that get it, have it further on in life are just, they just live a more kind and forgiving life, right? Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's a good thing. But bottom line, naive people have no barrier. They let in the wrong people hurt them. If the naive person can learn and grow from that situation, they're going to put up this very thick, very massive barrier that you can't cross over, right? Why? Because they couldn't judge who the good people and the bad people were to begin with. So you put up this big barrier and you block out everybody, right? Okay, long story short, that's what I'm feeling right now. So I know it's not the case, and I know the people that I trust and should, continue with. Yeah, should continue my relationship with. I know things are going well. I know things are going to go well, but I'm afraid of being burned again. So I get nervous. I think that's completely natural though, right? I mean, this is just me working through my thoughts, but you have step one, naivety. Then you get burned. Usually you get bitter, right? Then you get better. Hopefully. But a lot of people, maybe they'll stay in the naive state. They keep getting hurt and they don't know why. Next step, you learn why. You learn why you get hurt. Sometimes there's bad people. Sometimes it's not your fault. That's the acceptance, right? So once you have acceptance of the reality that happened to you, you're no longer a naive person, but then you think, okay, if it happened to me, it's my fault, right? You learn it's not your fault, well then fuck the world, fuck this shit. Things aren't fair, this sucks, right? So you put up these walls. You become bitter. If you stay there, you're just a grouchy old man. Nobody likes that, right? Yeah, grouchy old man. There we go. I put my words together one time. Okay. So ultimately, the third step we want to get to here is trust. You need to find the people you can trust. You need to find the people that have the best interest for you. And that's hard to do. Because that's a decision you have to constantly make, Yeah. So, trust issues are probably extremely common. And people have them for a good reason. But if you know somebody who's worth trusting, who doesn't quite trust you, know that maybe it's because they've been hurt. Or if you have trouble trusting somebody, maybe it's because you've been hurt. But we can all trust. And it is a gamble. It's not so much a gamble. It's an act of faith is really what it is. It's an act of faith. Like faith in God, right? It's the same thing. And I don't know. God's given me a pretty good life so far, so I'll trust, the relationships and the people He provides. I think things are going actually pretty damn smoothly so far, so it's good to be cautious, and it's good to be trusting. Yeah. Anyway, let's not get ourselves hurt. Yeah, so things are going extremely well for me, but I get that nervousness. It feels like things are going too well. The problem is if you get caught in that trap of nervousness, if you think too hard about things, then you can cause people to not trust you. It's funny. It's funny how people are. Feelings are contagious. So if you feel like you shouldn't trust somebody who is trustworthy, they'll feel that coming from you, and they'll reflect that back at you. And those contagious negative emotions amplify each other back and forth. So it's really funny, right? If you have a trusting relationship, but you feel nervous for some point, you give somebody that energy, that feeling, then they feel like something's wrong. And actually, women are way better at emotions, like processing how people are feeling, maybe diffusing tight situations, discussing their feelings. Women are way better at this than men. We just don't have as many tools to do this. So ladies, just cut us some slack. We're trying, but we're trying to we're like trying to start a fire with a ballpoint pen over here. Really, it's we're not all MacGyvers over here, right? Yeah, but yeah, things are going well. I just need to have some trust. So I hope you guys have your warm, trusting relationships. You have the people that are worth it, and I hope that you've had those situations where you've been put down, you've been exploited, so that you've learned these people aren't good for me, and you've learned why, and you've learned the people to look for, to trust. That's a lot. That's a lot of hard things to do, but I think everybody's better for it. Not blindly being open and not blindly trusting, but also not blindly being closed off to people. None of these things are good. We just need to step forward with our eyes open. That's all. So keep your eyes open, keep your feet on the ground, and your head in the clouds. Love you guys. That's the Friday update. We got 2 more coming out in the next 12 hours or so. They'll come out soon enough. All right. Peace.